Have you ever noticed that when real love starts to grow, it rarely announces itself with loud words or big promises, but instead speaks through the smallest actions, the quiet changes, and the silent presence of care? When a man is falling in love slowly yet deeply, the first sign often appears in ways that pass beyond his conscious control. Love is not always shown through clear words or quick confessions. Instead, it comes out through unconscious acts of affection. These are moments when his true feelings gently slip into his behavior, his movements, and the energy he carries when he is near the person he feels drawn to. Such signs are not practiced or planned. They cannot be forced, and they carry a natural honesty that only appears when the heart is truly touched. He may not even be aware of what he is doing, yet the other person feels it in the way he looks at them, in the brief pauses when he speaks, and in how his presence feels somehow warmer and different. These quiet expressions show the depth of his emotions more clearly than any spoken promise ever could. As his feelings begin to grow, his body language slowly changes. The eyes, for instance, often reveal what words try to hide. He may find himself looking longer, not in a shallow way, but as if he is searching for a deeper connection. His smile may become softer, filled with a kind of tenderness that is hard to copy. The way he stands or sits during a conversation, leaning a little closer, matching gestures, or paying close attention to every word, all reflect affection rising from within. He does not plan these actions. They flow naturally from a part of him that is gently giving in to love. Even the tone of his voice may change, becoming calmer, kinder, and more caring without him noticing it. Beyond simple gestures, unconscious affection often appears in how carefully he notices small details. He starts to see things he might normally ignore: a slight change in mood, a quiet sigh, or the happiness hidden in a small success. Without realizing it, he remembers bits from past talks, personal likes, and little pieces of the other person's life. This is not something he tries to memorize. It is more like his mind begins to focus on what his heart finds important. This quiet attention is one of the clearest signs that something meaningful is growing. He may not yet admit his feelings even to himself, but deep inside, he is already emotionally invested. The heart is moving ahead of the mind, building a connection before he fully understands it. These feelings also show up through gentle acts of care. A man who is slowly falling in love often finds himself offering help in ways that feel natural and automatic. He notices when someone looks tired and offers support without being asked. He senses discomfort and tries to make it better. He shares in small moments of happiness, even when those moments do not directly involve him. Such actions do not come from logic or duty, but from an inner pull to protect and nurture. True love does not calculate or keep score. His behavior is not meant to impress, but comes from something inside that pushes him to care simply because he wants to. Even simple things, like sending a short message to check in or making sure they have eaten, become quiet signs of his growing affection. Another deep sign of unconscious love is found in vulnerability. Although many men are taught to hide their emotions, falling in love slowly begins to open doors they did not know were there. He may start sharing small pieces of his inner world, memories from the past, personal worries, or quiet dreams for the future. At first, these shares may seem light, but over time, the trust he feels inside pushes him to open up more. It is in these unguarded moments that his affection becomes most real. He may not plan to speak about such things, but the closeness he feels makes it hard to stay closed. His heart starts to feel safe, and in that safety, he allows himself to be seen. Even in silence, unconscious love can be felt clearly. The comfort of sitting quietly beside someone without needing to fill the space with words is a strong sign of affection. He may not say how he feels, but his steady presence becomes calming and grounding. This quiet closeness carries an energy that speaks louder than any sentence. It shows that his feelings are not about constant talking or showing off, but about true connection. He feels at ease just being there, sharing the moment and letting the silence speak for him. Unconscious expressions of love are powerful because they reveal what lies beneath the surface of the mind. They are not quick or shallow, but signs of something growing slowly and deeply. When a man shows these signs, it means love is weaving itself into who he is, not in a rush, but in a way that takes strong root. This slow growth makes sure that what he is building is not temporary, but something that has the strength to last. The bond forms quietly yet firmly, shaping his actions, thoughts, and feelings in ways he may only understand later. When a man begins to fall in love slowly but deeply, another clear sign is the rise of his protective instinct. This is not about control or limiting freedom, but about a natural and almost unconscious wish to care for the well-being of the one he loves. Love awakens in him a stronger awareness of their needs and weaknesses. He may not notice the small ways this shows, but others often can. It might be as simple as asking if they reached home safely, walking closer to traffic while they stay on the safer side, or seeing that they are cold and offering his jacket. These acts may look ordinary, but they carry deep meaning. They show that his heart has begun to connect its own peace to the comfort and safety of someone else. This protective feeling also appears on an emotional level, not just a physical one. He becomes more aware of their moods and feelings. When they are upset, he feels a strong pull to ease their pain, not always by fixing things, but by being there and listening. He wants to create a space where they feel safe enough to open up. This need to give emotional shelter is not forced. It grows naturally from his affection. He may become more patient, more gentle, and less quick to judge, because he feels that guarding another person's heart matters deeply. This kind of protection does not trap or limit. Instead, it supports growth, helping the other person feel secure and valued in the connection. Slow love also changes how he thinks about the future. Without even noticing, he may start to include the other person in small plans or thoughts about what is ahead. He might imagine moments they could share, places they could go, or simple days spent together. He may not speak about it openly, but inside, his mind begins to make room for them. This is another quiet sign that his feelings are becoming serious. The future no longer feels like a lonely path, but one where someone else naturally belongs. At the same time, he may find himself wanting to be a better version of who he is, not because he is asked to change, but because love inspires him to grow. He might become more careful with his words, more thoughtful in his choices, and more aware of how his actions affect the one he cares for. This inner shift is gentle, not forced. It comes from the wish to protect what is slowly becoming precious to him. Love, in this way, guides him toward kindness, patience, and emotional strength. In the end, when a man falls in love slowly but deeply, it is not one big moment that reveals everything. It is a collection of small signs, quiet actions, and unspoken feelings that come together over time. It is seen in his eyes that search for connection, in his silence that feels warm, in his care that comes without asking, and in his presence that feels steady and safe. These signs may go unnoticed by him at first, but they speak clearly to the one who feels them. They show that his heart is already involved, building a bond that grows stronger with every simple, sincere moment they share. There is also a gentle change in priorities that comes with this instinct. A man who is falling deeply in love often finds himself putting the needs of the other person near the center of his decisions. This does not mean he forgets himself, but rather that his sense of duty grows to include someone else. He starts to think about how his actions and choices might touch their well-being. For example, he may become more careful about his commitments, more thoughtful with his words, and more alert about situations that could bring them stress or sadness. His world slowly begins to reshape itself to make room for another heart, and this protective instinct becomes a guiding force in that change. What once felt like personal choices now begin to feel shared, even if nothing has been said out loud. In this quiet way, love starts to influence how he moves through life. The protective instinct also shows itself in his silent watchfulness. He may not always speak about his concern, but it appears in how he observes and stays aware. He pays attention to the places they go together, the people around them, and the situations they find themselves in. It is not fear or suspicion, but a calm alertness that grows from caring deeply. His presence begins to feel reassuring, as if he is saying without words, "I am here, and I will look out for you." This kind of quiet promise builds trust because it comes from a real emotional place, not from any wish to control. He does not hover or restrict, but simply remains aware, ready to step in if needed. And that steady awareness becomes a source of comfort. In many cases, these protective actions remain unnoticed by him because they are not driven by planning or by a need to be praised. They rise naturally, like a simple response of the heart. He may explain them away as basic kindness or good manners, but their deeper meaning is clear. To protect someone is to place great value on them, to silently say that they matter. When a man does this again and again, it shows that love is growing in a deep and lasting way. His protective nature is not about shielding the other person from every hardship in life, but about walking beside them and making sure they never feel alone while facing it. It is about partnership, not ownership, and about support, not control. When a man is falling in love slowly but deeply, one of the strongest signs is how he begins to open himself emotionally and show vulnerability. This is often a hard step for many men because life and society teach them to guard their feelings, stay composed, and reveal only what looks strong and unbreakable. Yet love has a way of softening these walls. It creates a space where he feels safe enough to let another person see behind the mask he usually wears. This opening does not happen in one moment. It unfolds little by little, as trust grows and understanding is built between them. Emotional vulnerability does not arrive all at once. It appears slowly in moments when he feels that safety is present. It may begin with small shares, like talking about a hard day, admitting a worry he does not often voice, or mentioning a memory that shaped who he is. These moments may seem simple on the surface, but they are deeply meaningful because they mark the start of letting someone into the inner world of his heart. Each small share is a step closer, a quiet signal that he is no longer keeping everything to himself. He is inviting someone to know him, not just see him. As time passes, this openness grows stronger. He begins to talk not only about everyday things, but about what truly moves him inside. He may share the dreams he carries, the doubts he struggles with, the hopes that keep him going, and the questions that sometimes trouble his mind at night. Every time he opens up, it takes courage, because by showing his inner world, he risks being judged or misunderstood. Yet the fact that he still chooses to share shows that his feelings are not light or temporary. They are rooted in trust and connection. He no longer feels the need to always appear strong with the one he loves. Instead, he allows moments of weakness because he senses that his honesty will bring closeness, not distance. Emotional vulnerability also appears in how he lets his feelings be seen in real time. A man who is falling deeply in love may allow his joy, his sadness, and even his fear to show without trying to hide them. He may not cover up his excitement when something good happens. He may allow disappointment to be visible when things do not go as planned. And at times, he may admit that he feels confused or unsure. This willingness to be emotionally visible is a powerful sign of love. because it means he is no longer trying to protect an image. He is letting his true self be present. Love becomes a mirror where both people can see each other's truth without shame, and his choice to stand before that mirror shows how deep his affection really is. Along with this openness, a certain tenderness begins to grow. He becomes more gentle, more ready to understand, and more willing to have conversations that touch the heart instead of staying only in logic. His tone softens, his patience increases, and his replies become less about proving a point and more about creating connection. This tenderness does not make him weak. Instead, it strengthens the bond he is building because it shows that he is ready to step out of the emotional armor he uses in the outside world. With the one he loves, he no longer feels the need to defend himself all the time. He allows softness, and in that softness, intimacy grows. Vulnerability in this sense becomes a bridge that brings two hearts closer. It allows trust to deepen and understanding to expand. Through this bridge, he can be fully seen, and he also learns to truly see the other person. It is not about dramatic confessions or emotional scenes, but about steady openness, honest words, and the courage to be real even when it feels risky. Each moment of vulnerability adds another layer to the connection he is forming. Another important part of emotional openness is how he begins to trust the other person with his silence as much as with his words. He no longer feels the need to fill every pause with talk, nor to hide every emotion behind noise or distraction. Instead, he becomes comfortable simply being there, even when he does not have the right words or clear answers. This comfort in silence shows that his guard is lowering and that he believes his presence alone is enough. It is one of the most quiet yet powerful signs that his love is growing deeper, because it reflects both security and surrender at the same time. Emotional vulnerability in a man who is falling in love is not always loud or easy to notice. It lives in small admissions, in gentle honesty, and in the willingness to show parts of himself that he usually keeps hidden. It is found in the way he says, "This is who I am," without needing to dress it up or make it look perfect. It shows the breaking down of old walls, the letting go of long-held defenses, and the beginning of a real, heartfelt bond. When he shows these signs again and again, it becomes clear that his love is not shallow and not passing. It is something meaningful that is growing slowly, built on trust, care, and truth. It is a love that is not rushed, but steady. A love that does not hide behind strength, but finds strength in honesty. And in this quiet, gradual opening of his heart, it becomes clear that what he is building has the power to last, because it is rooted in something real, something deep, and something true. When a man is falling in love slowly but deeply, one of the clearest signs is his growing desire to give his time and be truly present. Time is one of the most precious things a person can offer. When a man chooses again and again to give it to someone, it shows that his feelings are real and meaningful. Unlike short attractions that live only in moments of excitement, deep love appears as a steady choice to stay involved. He does not come only when it is easy, and he does not vanish when things feel difficult. Instead, he starts to place the person he cares about high on his list of priorities, naturally fitting them into the flow of his daily life. This presence is not just about being there in person, but also about being there with his heart, because love is not measured only by hours together, but by the attention and care he gives in those hours. He listens with focus, remembers small details from past talks, and gives full attention in moments that may seem simple but actually carry deep meaning. At first, this giving of time may be quiet and gentle. He might begin to start conversations more often, suggest simple plans, not just for fun, but for the joy of being together. Even when his days are busy, he looks for small ways to connect, through a short call, a kind message, or a brief visit. Slowly, these patterns become clear signs of commitment. He's not just filling empty moments with someone else, but choosing to let them be part of his life. This is one of the strongest signs of deepening love, because time, once given, can never be taken back. When a man offers it freely, it shows how much he values the bond that is growing. Presence is also about the quality of attention he brings. A man who is falling deeply in love will not only show up, but will also give himself fully to the moment. He does not keep checking his phone while they talk, and his mind does not drift away. Instead, he becomes fully involved, answering with care and showing true interest in the other person's thoughts, feelings, and experiences. This level of presence sends a powerful message. It shows that he does not just want to pass time. He wants to share it in a meaningful way. In these moments, love shows itself as attentiveness, as a real wish to know and understand the other more deeply. His choice to give time also appears as patience. He does not rush the connection, and he does not push the other person to move faster than they feel ready for. Love that grows slowly carries respect for the natural pace of closeness. His steady presence becomes a quiet promise that he is not there only for quick pleasure, but for something that can last. Through his actions, he shows that he is willing to wait, to stay through calm moments, and to remain even when there is no excitement or drama. This patience reflects the depth of his feelings, proving that what he wants is not something short-lived, but something strong and lasting. Time and presence also shape how he thinks about the future. A man who is falling deeply in love does not focus only on today. Slowly, he begins to picture how the other person might fit into his life ahead. He may not always speak about it clearly, but it can be felt in the way he plans, in how he considers their needs along with his own, and in how consistently he shows up. This steady behavior becomes a kind of unspoken promise, showing that his love is not just a passing feeling, but a growing sense of responsibility and care. In the end, when a man gives his time and presence, he offers one of the strongest signs of deep love. It is not only big gestures that matter, but the quiet choice to be there again and again, without being asked. His presence becomes a safe space, a steady source of comfort that speaks louder than words ever could. When a man is falling in love slowly but deeply, another powerful sign is found in the quiet sacrifices he begins to make. These are not always big or dramatic acts that draw attention. More often, they are small and almost unnoticed changes where he adjusts his life for the happiness and comfort of the one he loves. Sacrifice here does not mean pain or loss, but a gentle shift in priorities that shows how much he values the relationship. He may let go of certain habits, routines, or comforts because he feels that the connection he is building matters more than holding tightly to every personal choice. These sacrifices usually come without being asked, because deep love creates a natural wish to place another person's needs beside, and sometimes even before, his own. At first, these sacrifices may look simple. He may choose to listen instead of arguing just to be right. He may change his plans so he can be there when the other person needs support. He may take on extra responsibility to lighten their load, not because he wants praise, but because their peace matters to him. Over time, these small choices come together and form a pattern that shows how love is changing him from the inside. A man who is falling deeply in love does not count these sacrifices like trades or favors. He offers them freely as gifts of care. They become quiet ways of saying, "Your happiness matters to me," without needing big words. These silent sacrifices also appear in how he balances his own wishes with the needs of the relationship. He may give up free time to help with something important, agree to choices that matter more to the other person, or adjust his lifestyle in ways that bring them closer. Even when these changes are not easy, he does not grow bitter, because he understands that love grows through giving as much as receiving. His readiness to compromise does not take away from who he is. Instead, it shows that his heart is expanding to make space for someone else. In this balance, love becomes not a loss of self, but a sharing of life, where both people grow stronger together through patience, care, and quiet devotion. Instead, it widens it, gently weaving the other person into the fabric of his everyday life. Sacrifice becomes a way of blending two lives together, showing that he no longer sees himself as standing alone, but as part of something greater than just himself. There is also a strong emotional side to these sacrifices. A man who loves deeply learns to put aside pride, ego, and defensiveness in order to protect the bond he is building. He may choose to be open even when it feels uncomfortable, or admit his mistakes instead of holding tightly to his self-image. These are not easy choices because they ask for humility and inner strength, yet they are among the clearest signs of deep love. Letting go of ego for the sake of peace and understanding is a powerful act of devotion, one that clearly shows how serious his feelings have become. Another layer of sacrifice can be seen in how he gives effort without waiting for anything in return. He may support dreams that do not bring him direct benefit, encourage growth even if it leads to temporary distance, or celebrate successes that belong only to the other person. These actions require him to set aside self-interest, yet they flow naturally when love is real. He feels true happiness when he sees the other person grow and succeed, even if it means he has to step back or give more than he receives. This ability to find joy in someone else's happiness, even at personal cost, shows a love that is both selfless and lasting. What makes these sacrifices so meaningful is that they are often unseen. He does not announce them or look for praise, because he is not trying to prove his love, but simply to live it. They live in the small details, the quiet changes, the compromises he accepts without complaint. Over time, these sacrifices create a strong base of trust and safety, showing that his feelings are not shallow or passing. A man who keeps making such choices shows that his love is not only about attraction or desire, but about care, loyalty, and true commitment. Through these silent sacrifices, his love becomes more than just a feeling. It becomes part of who he is. When a man is falling in love slowly but deeply, one of the strongest signs is how he begins to include the other person in his view of life, his future, and even his sense of self. Love that grows at a steady pace does not stay limited to moments of affection or simple exchanges. It slowly changes how a man sees himself and the world around him. This kind of integration is not about losing who he is, but about growing, about making room for another person in the very structure of his life in a way that feels natural and lasting. It often begins with small, almost unnoticed shifts in his thoughts. He starts thinking about the other person when making plans, wondering how they might feel in certain situations, or considering how his choices could affect not only himself, but both of them together. These thoughts are not forced. They rise on their own, showing how deeply someone has entered his inner world. Without realizing it, he is no longer thinking only in terms of me, but slowly moving toward us. In the end, this process of integration shows that love is not just an emotion, but a transformation. When a man reaches this stage, it becomes clear that he is not simply feeling attraction, but building something meaningful. His love has grown deep enough to change how he sees himself and the world, to widen his identity to include another person, and to shape a shared future. Through this blending of life, thought, and vision, one can see the truest sign of a love that is not only slow and steady, but also strong and real.